little excitement today. We got some new boat jewelry. A pair of new Boomkin tangs to replace the originals. Nothing wrong with the originals at this point, but they're 40 years old. They are original, and they're the older design where they're only an inch wide. These new ones are 1.5 inches wide. The other exciting new piece of boat jewelry is a pair of Mast Pulpits. I'm just getting older, and anything I can get on deck to make things a little bit more stable and a little easier just makes perfect sense. So we're going to be putting a pair of Mast Pulpits on the cabin top.
Determining the position of the mast pulpits seemed like it should have been pretty easy. I mean, they go on either side of the mast, right? But there are staysail car tracks bolted to the cabin top on either side of the mast, and handrails, and on the port side, there's a solar vent. Nothing is ever simple.
Yeah, doing a bit of careful measuring before we screw the mast pulpits down to the cabin top. And I'm pretty sure I've got them where I want them. I say pretty sure in that I haven't actually screwed them down yet, but I think this is the final position. As we get ready to install the new mast pulpits, I'm going to have to take a little bit of the overhead down here in order to do some through bolting. So this panel here is going to have to come off, which means we'll be removing this piece of trim and this piece of trim over here. Okay, well, there's the panel down. That's unfortunately only one out of a total of 4 we're going to be taking down. One on either side of the cabin here, and one more on either side inside the head and directly across from the head. With the overhead panels removed and safely stored up in the V-berth, we're about ready to start fitting the mast pulpits onto the cabin top. Well, we'll start out with our first mounting hole here. Well, there's the wood from the core. And we're through. Past experience has taught me to go below and make sure of what's going on. Okay, well, everything looks promising down below, so we'll go ahead and drill the other 2 holes. Just have to do a little countersink on them now. I always try to do the countersinks right away so I don't forget and miss a hole. Well, holes are drilled, backing plates are on. Nuts are finger tight. Now comes the always challenging part when you're working by yourself of tightening the nuts onto the bolts that are passing through the cabin top. I've found a couple of little tricks. Vice grips and C-clamps work to hold the nuts, although it still ends up entailing a couple of trips up and down. But let's go see if we can tighten these up. Well, there we go. 2 tightened and a whole bunch to go. The mast pulpits are bolted to the cabin top. Everything is bedded down. Backing plates are in. Everything's tightened up. Time to start putting the overhead panels back into the cabin. Well, no project ever goes exactly as planned, and this one is a normal one. These bolts are going to be a little bit too long here over the galley area, so I have to take the handy dandy Dremel and cut them off. Then we can put the panel back up. Well, the final overhead panel is back in place, and well, this project is done. Everything is bolted down into place, and whoa, that didn't work very well. Let's try that again. The mast pulpits are now firmly bolted down in place, and we're ready to go. Nice to have this project done. This should make moving around on deck much more comfortable.